This is an example of the TFI press kit, and I think it's a good example of something that you can put together. It's a very valuable tool for you to use to send out to media, to send out to retail buyers, because it's like an introduction card. Now, I'm going to be pointing out some key things about a good press kit, so hopefully you'll be able to take some pointers. First of all, you'll probably notice that there's a color scheme happening with the TFI press kit. We've got gray that appears in our logo as well as some pink. And the folder cover is branded. You know what, this is just a folder that we bought at Staples, but I particularly chose a matte finish. I prefer that than shiny because shiny sometimes shows fingerprints. And we put our TFI sticker on the outside of the kit because it brands it, and all of a sudden this is no longer just a typical old Staples folder. It's now a TFI folder. Otherwise, it's really plain and looks kind of boring. The other thing that we added was something called a brand wrapper, and this just goes on the outside of the kit to give it a little bit more personality. But the kit image, well, you can see that it's they're bobbins, sewing bobbins, and that's kind of fun because we are in the fashion industry. Anyway, so inside the kit, on the left-hand side of the page, you would have About You. So About TFI goes here, and if you had a press release, that would go on top. The most urgent information goes on top. And then if you had anything else about your company, it would go behind the About. So for example, we have something called the Top 10 Facts About TFI. Business card goes here. Again, look at the branding, look at the font. Everything, first of all, is on letterhead, and all the branding is consistent. It's the same letterhead, it's the same font, it's the same font type, it's the same font size, same font color. It seems a little basic, but honestly, people don't really think about this, so I'm pointing it out. But consistency is really, really key. You know, I've seen kits where the business card, for example, might be, I don't know, purple and black, but the folder is orange, and the purple and black business card and logo doesn't appear on the letterhead. It's completely different. So you just want to make sure that everything is consistent. On this side is where your visuals go, and the most eye-catching, captivating images should happen here, because don't forget, this is a pocket. You don't see what happens beneath the pocket, right? Your eye automatically goes here. When you open a kit, your eye goes here. So you want to captivate that person's attention by having some really strong image here. We've added our brochure, which is also matching branded and in the same color and font. I just usually put it here because, again, when you open it, it makes for a nice presentation. And so on this side, we've included some editorials of some print media that we've garnered from our New Labels event, for example. Everything is pretty well the same size, so we've got various articles here. And if you were sending this out, one thing that's missing that you would add is a price list. If you're not sure about what formula to use, wholesale, retail, just do a list of style numbers, a brief description, and then the suggested retail price. And that goes in the back. You don't need to add any drawings to that, just a typed list, again, in your same font and size on your letterhead. And that goes behind your visuals on the right side of the folder. If you were meeting with a retail buyer, you could possibly include fabric swatches, again, mounted on letterhead, but I would mount it on cardstock, something a little heavier. and get a pair of pinking shears and pink swatches of fabric and mount them really, really neatly onto the card with a brief description. It could say, wool plaid, 100% wool, or 80% wool, 10% polyester, 10% lycra. So you would put the fiber breakdown on that card as well. And send this off with a cover letter to selected fashion media. You don't have to send it to everybody who's on the masthead, but open up a magazine like Flair or Elle Canada or Fashion Magazine. Look at who's on the masthead, where it says who the editor-in-chief is and who the fashion news director is, et cetera, et cetera. You want to be sending it to those people. If it's a retail buyer, you're going to have to find out who the buyer is, the retail buyer is, for that kind of product that you're doing, not necessarily the store manager, because the store manager will intercept it. It may not get to the buyer. What else can I tell you? If you're sending your kit to the media, you can enclose a few high-resolution photo printed images of your product instead of the color laser that I showed you, because if they're really good shots, the media can take them and run with it. They can put it in the paper or the magazine. Be sure that you label on the back side of your photo. Imagine if this was a photo, for example. On the back, you would have a computer label with your company name, your name, contact information. Because if this thing gets lost from the kit, that they might go, oh, that's a really nice pair of shoes. Who does that belong to? Oh, I don't know. Well, we can't use it now because we don't know who it belongs to, and it goes in the garbage. So always make sure that every piece that's in your kit is identified in case it gets separated. If you are sending your kit to the media, you can also save high-resolution images on a CD-ROM and put it inside your kit. They would have to be at least 300 DPI, and put those on a CD-ROM inside here. On the jewel case, make sure that you put a label or you brand it again. So again, if it becomes separated, people know that it belongs in the kit and how to contact you, email address, telephone number. Now, if you're sending this to a retail buyer, do not send the CD-ROM. I've had retail buyers tell me that when they get the kit, imagine this, imagine if you're a retailer or a media, you probably get hundreds of these coming across your desk every season, hundreds and hundreds. This one buyer that I met with in New York told me that he personally does open up all his mail. He doesn't get an assistant to do it. But he basically opens it up. He looks on this side where the images are. If he likes it, he doesn't even read it. If he likes it, it goes in the good pile. If it's a lousy image, like it doesn't captivate him, and there's nothing but a CD-ROM in here, he says it goes in the garbage. Because he does not have time to take out that CD, open the case, put it into his CD-ROM drive, wait for it to load, go through every single image, click on every single image to see. He doesn't have time to do that because he has to go through hundreds of kits. So make it easier for whoever is on the receiving end. Put yourself in their shoes and imagine that their time is money. What's the fastest way that you can get through to them, that they can use the information for their end purpose the fastest and easiest way? So always just put yourself in their shoes, and probably the light will go on. You'll start thinking about some of these things. So you just have to tailor the kit depending on who you're speaking to a retailer or to the media. Hope that helps.